Shalloners, and welcome Directioners. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about Harry Styles today and his friendship, dating ship, undercover lover, friendzone-y something situation with Adele. Ugh, our queen. Our queen of sadness, but also like joviality and gaiety, because she seems like so like funny and wacky, and then her songs are like, hello. You know, I always think like if you go to an Adele concert, like phone lines everywhere are going to crash because every single person in that arena is texting their ex at the same time, like drunk on $22 vodka sodas in Madison Square Garden. Like, I still love you. I'm not about it. I don't go see her live. But Skyfall was the song I danced to. It was my first dance at my wedding. Like, I love Skyfall, so I'm going to love Adele like for the rest of my life. But you know who maybe isn't loving Adele? Harry Styles. I know some behind the scenes gossip about these two that maybe you guys haven't heard. I'm going to break down what's going on with their like are there, aren't they dating relationship, because we haven't heard about them for a minute, but that doesn't mean there's not things going on behind the scenes. I'll break it all down. And more importantly, we're going to talk about what to do when we find ourselves in the friend zone. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. I'll break it down. But first, just want to remind you guys to find me on Instagram at ShallonXO. Also be sure to click like and subscribe here on this channel. I'm trying to do a video every single day for you guys while we're all sort of like in like global lockdown. Bleh. And I was supposed to go to Bali and I had to cancel that trip. You know, I just didn't want to risk getting stuck in Bali. Like, I don't think I would get sick, but I don't want to like get trapped there. And so my whole wardrobe here at my mom's house is like caftans and shit. And so it's either hoodies and like my childhood drawers. You know, you come home and you're just wearing like the grubbiest clothes you can when you're with your family. Or I have like my Bali stuff. So I was like, I've gone through all my hoodies in these videos. It's time to put on the beachwear. So buckle up. We're going tropical from here on out. Speaking of tropical, there was some tropicality with Harry and Adele earlier this year. Now, back in January, they were spotted in Anguilla with, of all people, James Corden and his wife. It's weird to me that James Corden is straight. You know what I mean? He's so like, he's like too funny and interesting to be straight. Like, you're on our team? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. You seem like you belong to the gays. You're too good for us. We don't, I'm so sorry. Sorry. But he is straight. And so the four of them were vacationing together. Now, before we get into that, you got to understand the history between Harry and Adele, which I wasn't even really aware that there was a super big history until I did a little bit of digging. Let's go to the nose reports. So way back in 2011, when Harry was just 17, he admitted he had a big crush on Adele, saying that she makes him weak in the knees. Like, And then he said he would like to date her. Like, he like leaned into it, right? And then she called him cute in another interview. They were having this little like flirty thing. And so then in 2012, he was at the Brit Awards and somebody asked him like, what star do you want to kiss at the after party? And he said, Adele, definitely Adele. I don't think he kissed her. He kissed me instead. What? I didn't hear that. What? It wasn't at that party. It was a different one. Anyway. So then they had some other run-ins. Like when he turned 21, she gave him a copy of her album 21. She's like, I did some pretty cool things when I was 21, which seems like kind of a neg. First of all, like, don't give someone a copy of your own album. Like, I don't give my friends copies of my book. Like, that's so douchey. Like, okay, like, for your birthday, I would like to send you a link to my YouTube profile. Like, all right. And I also wouldn't be like, I did some pretty cool things when I was 21. Like, yeah, girl, you went like quintuple platinum. Like, way to put the pressure on this like child. Okay. But she met it in like a cute, cheeky way. And so they finally definitely met in 2016, met her through a mutual colleague. So that was when they became IRL friends. And then cut to a few years later, they're in Anguilla with James Corden. So it's like, what's going on? And there were pictures like frolicking on the beach and Adele is looking like amazing. She's dropped all this weight and like, she just looks like alive, like the joie de vivre. She's so much younger than we think she is. Wait, how old is Adele? Let's ask. How old is Adele? She's 31. To me, she's like born 52. You know what I mean? Like she's never been like ultra trendy in what she wears, and like she's not on Instagram a ton. She's not out at parties and stuff. So she just has always seemed like an old British lady, and not in a bad way, in a way that like that's why she can write the heavy songs that she does, because it's like Adele's been through some shit. Like you just like believe her. Oh, and I don't mean heavy like fat. I just mean like, you know, I don't mean like that. I've always thought she's gorgeous. That skin, forget about it. Forget about it. Forget. But now she's like transformed herself, and it's annoying because people who claim to be body positive are like shaming her for losing weight, and like she's some sort of like fat traitor. She's allowed to be whatever weight she wants, and if she's happy at 200 pounds, cool. If she's happier at 140, let her be. Why does it bother you? And to me, that just goes to show that like maybe people aren't happy fat if you can't stand it when someone isn't fat, you know? I mean, I don't know. I've done a million videos on like weight and my own issues with it, but she looks like she's having fun. Good for her. Let her live. But is she having fun with Harry Styles? So there was a lot of rumors floating that, oh my gosh, they're hooking up, blah, blah, blah. Do you guys want to know the truth? Do you want to know the truth? See, if I was Matthew Hussey right now, I would draw that out for 12 more minutes before I told you, but I'm not, because I value your time, even though none of us have anything to do with this quarantine. So apparently she caught some major feelings for Harry, and apparently that wasn't a two-way street. Now, how could we blame Adele for catching feelings? First of all, Harry Styles is hot. He's a good kisser. Anyway, and she had this mythology that he liked her, right? And haven't we all been there? It's like, it's a psychological principle that we like people who like us, you know, because it strokes our ego. It validates our ego. And, you know, in a very deep way, it's like, of course I want to be around a fan of mine. It's also seems like a lot easier. Well, why wouldn't I date someone who likes me? That's like, we're skipping ahead a couple steps and I don't have to angst about like, oh my gosh, are they going to text me back? I know they like me. So, hey, this seems like kind of low hanging fruit, right? What's not to like? But then maybe you guys haven't experienced this, but I have, where I thought someone liked me either because maybe like a rumor got back to me that like wasn't accurate. And I'm like, hey, here I am. You're welcome. And they're like, can I help you? And you're like, no, I'm so sorry. And it's like ultra humiliating. And then you're mad at yourself because you're like, I don't even actually like you. I just like you because you like me. And I was going to allow you to worship me. Traitor. So there could have been an element of that. It's like, oh, hey, she's single. She's looking fabulous. Who's the first dude she's going to like get down with? This hot, super famous, idolizing boy, Harry. Who could blame her? I know. I don't have my usual Yeti because at Coffee Bean, they won't fill it up. They'll only give you the plastic ones. I'm like, ugh. It's like, yeah, I could put it in my Yeti, but it's still using the plastic. Ah! It's a coronavirus thing. Like, they won't touch the thing. Anyway, so that was one thing that contributed to her crush on Harry. The second thing is they were vacationing with a couple. Now, a lot of us have been there. It's one thing to be the third wheel. It's something very different to be the third wheel when there's a fourth wheel. And the fourth wheel is a dude who you think maybe likes you, or maybe even that's not a play. He's just really hot. Because you are watching the relationship you want to see mirrored back, right? You're watching this couple who's in love and fun and they're schmoopy and whatever. And then it's natural to feel those feelings. You know, that's camaraderie, that's tribe mentality. And then you look at the fourth wheel and you're like, hey boy. And he's like, can I help you? You know, we get another, can I help you? So there was a lot going on, especially if you're like meeting someone on vacation or going away on vacation. Like, a vacation will push something in whatever direction it's naturally going. It's going to push your feelings and the trajectory of the relationship into whatever direction it's naturally going to go, right? And we've all experienced this, where like we were kind of on the fence about a guy and then we go away for the weekend and by the end of it, you had the ick so bad you could not even look in his direction. Or like in my last relationship, we had a mini break kind of at the beginning of the relationship. We spent a weekend away and by the end of it, we were completely in love. Like it was, you know, it was cute. It was fun. So maybe she thought it was going to go that direction. And maybe for Harry, it went the other, right? So I can see why she was excited about this and kind of caught some feels. she's a human being and he's a hot dude, and they probably do have a really good connection. And this is what is hard about creatives. Like when you're a creative person and you meet another creative soul, certainly someone who is like on your level in terms of fame and can understand this world that you live in that is very weird and isolating. And then, you know, she can't just kind of go on Tinder. She can't like go down to the bar and just like meet a bro. She has like a much smaller dating pool, as he does, you know. So, I mean, he's not going to date like a psycho fan. That's weird. He's probably going to date people in his echelon. So that fosters that sense of bonding as well. And all of these things in conjunction can lead to feels. Now, who knows? Maybe this isn't what's going on at all. Maybe they don't like each other one bit. Maybe he negged her. Maybe she negged him. I don't know. It doesn't matter, because we are going to learn from this dynamic no matter what. Because here's what apparently happened. He was like, flirted with her, kind of strung her along a little bit, but like Harry, I've used this analogy before when I was talking about my little interaction with Harry, is that he oozes sex appeal. He is just a walking streak of sex. Like he is just, it's crazy. And there's certain people who are just like that we encounter, and they spray magnetism everywhere. And, you know, I always sort of got the vibe from Harry that he was like a Mick Jagger, you know, just like into guys, into girls, into situations, you know, very like open-minded about whatever, not putting labels on things. And that can be dangerous. Like when you're in the orbit of someone like that, because you are just caught up in their tractor beam of magnetism, right? And how do you not get swept up in that kind of person who's just like so woke and in touch with his feelings and creative and smart and charming and sexy? You're just like, girl, you're a dead man walking. You got no shot at resisting it. I didn't. So I get where she's coming from. And a lot of us have been in this position. And Adele was even thinking, and God, I've done this. I've done this next part so many times. She was like, I know he and I can work together. We're going to do a song together or something. We'll collaborate. And maybe this was just like a subconscious calculation. Maybe this was something she just kind of like thought in her subconscious and didn't realize the motivation. It was like, well, then I'll be able to spend more time with him, you know? I used to do this all the time. I would find ways to be around the guy that I liked by moving heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. I would cross an ocean for someone who wouldn't cross a puddle, okay? I would find a reason to be in their city. Not like in a stalky way, but it's like, oh, I got an opportunity for a press trip there. Okay, I'm going to go on and, I'm just going to text them, hey, we're here. The egg doesn't swim to the sperm. But Shallon was swimming almost everyone. And maybe Adele was too. And I want to have a lot of things in common with Adele. I do not want to have this. And trust me, she doesn't want to have this in common with me either. So being in the friend zone is a very icky place to be. So let's talk about it. Let's break down the friend zone. Because the friend zone is different than the rejection zone. Kind of. Because all roads lead to no. And what do we say? If it isn't a hell yes, I like you, hell yes, I'm all in, hell yes, I want to sleep with you, hell yes, I want to date you, we have to take that as a hell no. Because guys can like someone just a little bit. And this is what messes us up. Girls, we're not really like that. We're a lot more of like a light switch. You know, guys are a light switch sexually, on or off. We're more of like a sexual crock pot. You know, we take a minute to warm up. I think a lot of times emotionally, when we realize we like someone, we're all in. I'm busy, doesn't matter. We live far apart, we'll make it work. Like we're looking for entrances and they're looking for exits. Because guys are really, really, really good at compartmentalization. You know, they're not good at almost anything. They're great at this. So that's why when you meet a guy on vacation and it's like, we have this amazing time. Like I met this boy on vacation and I was like, he's like, I wish I could marry you. He's like, I'm obsessed with you. I'm never going to find someone like you. And then like heard from him like 4 more times after we got back, and like that was it. And I was like sad about it because I'm like, wait, okay, even though we lived on opposite ends of the country, I was like, this is depressing because we had like a strong connection, but it was compartmentalization. You know, like they realize something's not going to work and they put it on a shelf and that's where it sits. It's in their own emotional storage unit. So it's this capability that leads to the friend zone, right? Because they can say, yeah, she's fun to be around. yeah, she's fun to hook up with. You know, these are two separate thoughts, by the way. But, and in she goes in that emotional storage unit. And we're like, hi, I was fun to be around and you liked having sex with me? And so, what? This is why we get all twisted over friends with benefits and booty calls and why it's a very dangerous situation. And it's hard because, you know, we want to have that no strings attached sex, but that's not always realistic for us and our bonding instincts and our ability to bond, I always say, is our greatest strength, right? And we can't let it get away from us and become a weapon that's used against us. So here's what the friend zone, how do we say this? The friend zone. It's hard to accept that we're in the friend zone because we're taught that guys will fuck anything, right? And it's like, they're never going to turn down hoo-ha. They're never going to turn down sex. So how could I possibly be in the friend zone? Like, what? Because sometimes he likes me and sometimes not. Yeah, exactly. He can like you just a little bit. And I've seen guys deal with their female friends. I had an ex-boyfriend, loved him, and there was always a girl. There was always Caitlin in the periphery. Caitlin. And I was like, what's the deal with her? And he was like, she likes you. She's really like in favor of our relationship. And I was like, I fucking bet she is. I didn't trust her. I was like, she's in love with you. He's like, no. I'm like, she's in love with you. I guarantee. He's like, I guarantee you she's not. We broke up. We took a break. And I was like, my biggest fear was that he was going to hook up with her. Guess what he did? And we ended up getting back together. And I was like, okay, what is the deal with Caitlin? He's like, and this is what shifted my thinking about the friend zone, because I was afraid. I was like, oh my God, like this is gonna be like a Hallmark movie. She was there all along and she's my true love. And he's like, I only really slept with her out of curiosity. And now I satisfy that curiosity and I have absolutely no attraction to her. Guys do this. They have a female friend in the friend zone and they will probably hook up with you at some point, but it's out of curiosity. It's like, oh yeah, okay, kind of check that box and now. If a guy wants you, he lets you know. Men are hunters. And a hunter does not bide his time. He does if he's stalking his prey, right? But what is that? That's pursuit. He's in pursuit of his prey. A guy who's your friend and he responds, if you call it, that's not pursuit, right? You know when a man is pursuing you. He's making the dates. Whenever I have dated someone and it's worked out, he was making the second date while we were still on the first. He didn't want to just send me back out into the ether and maybe she's not going to check her phone and maybe somebody else is going to come along. Nope. Locking me down for date number 2 right then. Didn't want to let me get away. He was hunting his prey. Okay? Yeah. So a guy isn't going to bide his time. No guy who wants a woman is like, you know what? I'm just going to friend zone her for 6 months and then maybe I'm going to call her up to the major leagues and she's going to be my girlfriend. He's not going to risk that you're going to get scooped up by someone else in those 6 months or those 6 weeks or those 6 days. He is going to make himself known in your life, not as a friend, not as a shoulder to cry on, not as a friend with benefits or a booty call, as a man you're going to date. Isn't that what we would do? Right? When we like someone, we're not like, oh, I'm going to friend zone him for 6 months and I'm going to be like, hoey and hook up here and there and ghost him. Like, no, we want to like that person too. This is human nature. This isn't even man, woman. This is human nature. When we want something, we want to bond with it. We want to bond, they want to hunt. So that's why when it's right, it's easy and you're not playing these kinds of games, because if they're games, that's not a great sign. And it might mean only one of you is actually playing the game. And it might be you. And he's not, because he's not that into it. So if you're in the friend zone with a guy, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. I know. I can hear it. I can hear the comment section now. Well, I was friends with my boyfriend for a long time. Okay. Great. There's some of us out there who can eat pizza for every meal and never gain weight. Do you think that that's the reasonable blanket advice I should give? Go eat whatever you want. You're going to be fine. Probably not. You are very rarely the exception. You are most often the rule. If a guy isn't pursuing you, most often it's because he doesn't want to. Rarely is it he's afraid of you, he didn't know how to communicate his feelings. I don't want to date that dude either. I don't want to date a guy who doesn't know how to pursue a woman, or is too like wussy to communicate his feelings, or he's afraid of me, or he's not fully developed, or whatever. Fill in the blank. Whatever that blank is, I don't want it. The only thing that I want filling in a blank is a man filling the blank space in my life that I have purposely carved for him. It's a very tiny space because I don't need a man. But like, that's what I want to feel. That's what I want to fill. And like, I also don't think it's cool to have a guy, to put a guy in the friend zone, you know? And this is what I've always said about Shawn and Camila. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. I think their relationship is one of, he loved her from afar for a really long time. She friend zoned him because she's a narcissist. And then when his career was like astronomical, selling out arenas, and she was going solo and was like, I have another album coming out. I could really use a boost. Then she's like, hey, she took him out of her little emotional storage unit. And when we take things off shelves, what do we take off shelves? Possessions. Possessions. Okay? It's not fair to think of people as possessions. I don't like to be thought of that way, and then we can't treat men that way. I know. I want to treat them bad sometimes, but no, we're not going to. So I think she took Shawn off the shelf and was like, I'm ready to play with you now. And I believe that his nostalgia is fueling his commitment to that relationship, because I think he sees these flashes of like, just what we all see, the clout chasing, the ostentatious PR fakery. She comes across as so phony and calculated. Ugh. But it's like, she's the hot girl I was dreaming about. She was always the hot girl I was dreaming about, you know? And that's kind of keeping him in it. Like, I've even seen that with people I went to high school with. Like, this one girl who was like the it girl in high school literally is an oxy addict. And this dude from high school who was a nerd in high school, they recently got married. And I'm like, why? It's nostalgia. He still sees her as like hot Alex from high school. And it's like, all right, she's not, but okay. I don't know what this has to do with the friend zone. I feel like I've gotten completely off topic. But basically, you gotta think that maybe it isn't gonna work out, because we shouldn't be pursuing them. And if we're in the friend zone, that's what you're doing. Friendships are neutral. I don't want to have sex with Becca or Katie or Diane or Megan or Karina. Maybe Megan. But like, there's not that tension of how do they feel about me and why are they dating someone? I saw them on Tinder. It doesn't matter. They're girls. I don't want to date them. It's fine. It's neutral. I don't need the drama in my life of a guy who I'm on his emotional shelf. Or he hasn't decided how he feels about me yet. Or he does, but he won't act on it. Like, why is any of this satisfying? Ugh. It makes you feel really unlovable and crazy and just chasing and pathetic. And it's like, it's the worst of both worlds. It's the worst part of being in a relationship because you feel like you're not meeting other people and your heart and your mind is completely occupied by one person. Not that that's a bad thing when you're in a relationship, but you feel your options are limited. You don't have your head in a swivel. And it's the worst part of being single because you're single and alone and you're kind of like perma heartbroken. So while the idea of like cutting this person off and taking a step back seems like painful, baby girl, you are in pain. I don't want to be alone. You are alone. Okay? Walk in the light of the truth about this situation. You don't have a boyfriend and you don't have a friend. You have like the worst parts of both. What's that getting you? And let me tell you something. He knows. He knows that you like him. He knows, okay? We're not as slick as we think we are. My ex-boyfriend, the one who's like, Keaton's not in love with me, he knew. He wasn't going to tell that to his girlfriend because I'd be like, all right, well, let's catch some hands. How about that? You here for the smoke? I am. But he knew it on some level because he allowed himself to bask in her adoration all the time, you know? Like, he knew. And we aren't as subtle as we think we are. Like when we like someone, I'm like the most obvious person on planet Earth. So we have to assume that they know that we like them, right? This is healthy to assume. And then we have to assume that they don't like us. I know, but like we can't make up these excuses. Stop making excuses for people who aren't even making excuses for themselves. If he's not even saying like, I don't know how I feel about you yet. You're projecting all the reasons you're staying in this dynamic are reasons you have come up with. I've been there. And it's like, it's like this whole relationship from top to bottom existed inside my head. Like the viability of the friend zone of him liking me back. And like the excuses I was giving that I was projecting onto him that he was in no way a part of. He didn't know any of this, you know? It was fantasy and fiction all the way around. And we deserve a real boyfriend, okay? We deserve a real partner, someone who really likes us. At the very least, someone who is really lying, who is really making up excuses. Why don't we just raise the bar to there? Like, okay, if I'm going to be bamboozled by lies and gaslighted, I would appreciate if it was someone else gaslighting me and not me gaslighting myself like a lunatic. Terrible. So, here's how you can get out of the friend zone, right? Pull back. Pull back. Because, look, there's no harm in pulling back. If you pull back and he doesn't come chasing you. Okay, well, wait. Wait a minute. I have an idea. I'm having a thought. You can't just pull back because he is going to miss you because he knows you like him and because his ego is getting fed when you're around, okay? Because this friendship isn't neutral to him either. He won't admit it maybe, but he knows that it's not. So yeah, he's gonna be like, where have you been? I missed you. I miss hanging out with you. That's not the same as pursuit. That's not the same as I'm taking you to dinner Saturday night. This is a date. This is a date, right? That's not the same thing. Hey, come over. Oh, I want to talk to you about... No, that's maybe friendship or whatever it is, or an emotional fidget spinner situation, but it's not the same as pursuit. So pulling back isn't really going to tell you what you need to know. And you know I never say this, but if you really feel like you need to, you can kind of call it out. I don't know. You really shouldn't though. Because like I said, like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And if someone isn't pursuing you, baby girl, you got to accept that it's because he doesn't want to. And revealing your feelings is not going to do it. We should not be the one making the sweeping emotional declarations. You know, the Say Anything movie, John Cusack, like holding the boombox up outside the window. That's what men do. We don't do that for them. We don't go out on the emotional risky limb. I like you. Whenever I have had to do that, the response was not what I wanted. And I have never had to do that with someone who did like me because they were leading that conversation. They were setting that date while we were still in the first one. They were asking me out. They were taking me away for the weekend. They were leaving no room in my mind about where they stood because they didn't want to get miscategorized. They didn't want to get put in the friend zone. Oh no, I'm the man here showing up in your life and you're going to know it, baby girl, right? They're the one going out on the risky limb and they wanted me to feel safe because that's how a quality man wants a woman to feel. He doesn't want her like creeping out on this emotional limb. I like you. Like some cackling woodpecker. Oh, I like you. It's horrible. So for your own peace of mind, and if you need like clarity or closure and just to be like, you know what I said and I needed to get it off my chest and I just needed him to know and I needed to hear myself say it and I needed to just put it out there. Okay, you can. I just don't, I don't know how well that's going to go. Because my big fear almost is that he will date you. Because that to me means he's just kind of looking for what's easy. And it's like, she likes me. Okay. And remember we talked about that in the beginning. It's a principle that we like people who like us because we're lazy, because we're ego driven, right? I don't want to date a dude like that. I don't want to date someone like me. What a nightmare. I want to date someone better than me who's not crazy like me. I want to be the nightmare. So we don't want to get trapped in the opposite end of that dynamic either, you know? So if we put it out there, I like you and I want to be your girlfriend, a fuckboy is going to be like, okay. And then one day, ghost. They're going to ghost out. Because what did you just get caught in? The passive reciprocation loop. I talk about this thing all the time. The passive reciprocation loop is the term I gave to what happens when we chase, when we declare, when we go out in the emotional limb, when we pursue. It's, yeah, he might be like, okay. He might return your text. He might meet up at a bar close to his apartment. He might allow you to come over and fuck him on a random like Thursday night or whatever. But that isn't pursuit. It's not pursuit. And one day, he's going to simply stop passively reciprocating. Someone else is going to catch his eye, someone he actually likes, and boom, he's going to start pursuing her. And then you're going to be like, what happened? What happened? What changed? What changed? What changed? And the sad truth will be, nothing changed. He wasn't pursuing you then. He's not pursuing you now. He simply stopped passively reciprocating. He stopped shrugging. And something came along that put into very sharp contrast the difference between how he felt about you and how he felt about her. I get no pleasure out of saying this. I've had no pleasure out of experiencing it, and I have done it. Everything I'm telling you, it's because I've done. I'm a half a block ahead, okay? Like that's it. But that's still, I can still see around some corners that you guys can't yet. So believe me when I say, like, don't be doing these things. And again, there's going to be girls in the comments like, I declared that I liked a guy and now we're dating. Good for you, girl. I don't want that man. You can have that fuckboy. You can have that beta male. Maybe he works for you. He doesn't work for me in my life. And I think you're better than having to do that. And it's like, and he turns out he always liked me. Really? That's weird that he never asked you out, even though he had access to you and like is a man and is a man. He gets to pee standing up. What more does he want? So think about what it is you deserve. Think about how realistic it is to get out of the friend zone. Think about Harry and Adele. Adele, you don't need to collaborate with anyone. Certainly not to get laid, okay? Like, Harry Styles is kind of a unicorn, but there's never just one unicorn. Then there'd be no more unicorns, right? There's always got to be a few. They're out there. Keep it moving, Adele. You're too good for this. Don't waste that skin. Don't waste those cheekbones. Don't waste those boobs. Do it for all of us who wish we had those three things. Tell me about your friend zone experiences. Tell me how you're coping with this COVID crisis. Are we so over it by now? I know. And tell me what other topics you want to see. Yes, I'm going to do some videos on Love is Blind. Just give me some more time to keep binging, and we'll be all up on it. I'll talk to you later, Shalloners. Be sure to click like and subscribe. Mwah!